could join me again today. And today we have a very, very special guest with us. It's Richard Voisin. And yeah, let me just let Richard introduce himself and say who he is and what he is about. Take it away, Richard.
All right, so welcome everybody, and thank you for having me on, Juma. I am Richard. I am from originally Trinidad and Tobago, but I am currently in Panama. I got stuck here during the whole COVID pandemic last year. I have not been able to get back home since because the borders were closed, and I should be home soon. But as of right now, I'm here in Panama, which is also a great day. Blue skies, nice white puffy clouds, and yeah, I'm just happy to be on.
Really, really excellent. I have been tracking you down, Richard, and your stuff you've been doing for a while now. I think since the days of Gravedigger. Is that sort of thing, or that's nothing?
There's a name I haven't heard in a long time, but yes, I can explain.
Yeah. Maybe you might want to explain, and of course, fluid capture. Those are two things that I remember. What is up with those things?
So, Gravedigger was an alias, a gaming alias that I used to use back when I was in the gaming days, and we're talking Unreal Tournament and Call of Duty, the earlier ones, yeah. So I was heavy into that with some the Gaming Association of Trinidad and Tobago. A couple of those members used to come over to where we were in Diego Martin to do some gaming. So that was my alias then. I was a lot younger then. I've grown up since, and I use my actual name now. And Fluid Capture was born out of just the desire to do some more creative things on my own and to have my own company. I had been working with several different people before that, doing web design, technical assistance for internet service providers like CaribLink and CableNet and Interserve and so on. And then the web design thing took over, and then I picked up a camera, and that took a life of its own. And in working with Yesa Tangwell and Marcus Lifukan, they got me into video while doing weddings. And as much as I love weddings and the emotion that surrounds it and all of that, I kind of wanted to get into the more adventurous side of things. And I can't pick up Marcus's 7D Mark II or Mark I in the case then and go shoot people surfing, right? So I got into my own company called Fluid Capture to do more of the kind of projects that were aligned with my personality. Even though we ended up being a very versatile company, doing commercials, doing corporate stuff, doing weddings as well. Yeah, that's how Fluid Capture was born. Where it stands now, after the global pandemic, is yet to be seen because I've been away from the country for so long, and I heard there have been a bit of an economic downturn based on events and so on. So I've been sourcing a couple opportunities here in Panama, and we'll see how it goes. But when I get back home in about a month, I'll see what happens with Fluid Capture. If it survives or if I wrap it up and then take my creative outlets to another place,
Right. Yeah, I remember, Marcus and Yesa, a good industry friends of ours. We actually started photography with weddings kind of around the same time. I think we may have started slightly before them.
Right.
And yeah, so I know them pretty well from an industry standpoint. As a matter of fact, one time where we were in Barbados shooting a destination wedding, they just happened to be in Barbados as well as shooting a destination wedding.
Right.
Yes, same time. So so
that's always a good time when you connect with people of your ilk and in a different country. Yeah, it can go well.
Yeah. That's like it's something about seeing your people out of where you live, and it feels good.
There's a lot of excitement, yes.
It feels good. So we ended up going to fish fry together and different things. So that was cool. That was cool. All right. Okay. So the short version of your story. Look, Jared is on LinkedIn. Jared Best. You know Jared Best Mitchell, right?
Oh, of course, that's my boy.
Yeah, he's saying Richard.
Mr. Yellow himself.
Yeah, Mr. Yellow himself. Yeah, for real. He's saying, he's saying if you're still in Panama, yeah, but you are still in Panama.
Yes.
You know?
Coming home soon.
So the short version of the story is that, and you kind of mentioned it just now, is that you had some business to do in Panama. You went across there in January of 2020, and you had to stay longer than you thought, and then the pandemic hit.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So give us the kind of the extended version of what that looked like.
In 2019, I think it was January of 2019, I came to Panama on a project to film a TV show called Bear Paradise that we were starting. It was literally the pilot episode that we were going to film for. It takes adventures and just events around the Latin American countries and the Caribbean. And yeah, we had this idea because of all the, I don't know if you would have seen it, Room TNT things that I've been doing, the tourism style videos that I had been doing at that point. And they asked me to do it. So Panama was just literally the first destination. It was not going to be anything major. And upon landing here, the landscape alone blew me away. And this is both artificial and natural. So the skyline here looks like a Miami skyline when you're landing in the airport. And then, of course, there's rich vegetation around. So it blew my mind. It was a lot more than I expected. And when I came back home to Trinidad, I told them, listen, I only scratched the surface there barely. And we need to go back to Panama to do a couple more things. So I was back in Panama July of 2019. To do some more stuff, and I saw more of Panama. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to take a while. This has to be like a staple part of the show, even though we're going to Jamaica, Mexico, and so on. This has to be a staple where we do features of Panama in every episode, kind of thing. So my producer agreed, and I was back here in October of 2019, kind of hopping over to Mexico, but did like a 3-day layover in Panama on the way back, I think. Filmed some more stuff, discovered some more stuff. I was very pleased. So, January 2020, I came back again to film, and I started looking at opportunities here. That caused me to extend my time, those opportunities, to April 1st. And it was the biggest April Fool's joke I'd had because I could not go home. You thought. So, since then, I have been locked down in a place called Boquete. It's beautiful. It reminds me of a mixture of, I would say, Paramin and Santa Cruz with a little bit of Diego Martin thrown in there. It's a lot of valleys and cold weather, but not too cool. It's just chilly enough and temperate enough to enjoy on a so-called hot day. It's 24 max and blue skies, hot sun, you know. So I've been here and I started just exploring Panama. And I met up with some folks here called the Nomadic Movement, who are big YouTubers. And they're creating this homestead in the hills of Boquete. They fell in love with the place when they were journeying down from the US. I think they started in Alaska and they journeyed all the way down to Panama with the intent of heading down to South America. That stopped because they had like a week here because they had something to repair, and they just fell in love with the place the way I did, you know. So I think in connecting with them, I decided to start my YouTube channel. They had been encouraging me like month after month, come on, just start something, show your journey, show your adventures, and that's where it was born. Now that has taken a life of its own where several opportunities have kind of stemmed from just opening that channel. Because the Nomadic Movement had actually tagged me off in one of their videos, the engagement for my first and second videos were crazy. And my subscriber base rose from literally nothing to maybe 4,000 to 5,000 subscribers within the first day. So I was very thankful for them, for that. And then, of course, now it's closing in on about 10,000 subscribers, and I'm still churning out the adventures as they go along. The next adventure, well, I should say the next 2 adventures to go up would be my journey back home to Trinidad. So it continues even when I'm in Trinidad.
That's excellent. That's excellent. That's an excellent story. I saw that video, the very first video you posted, and the couple. It's a couple, right?
Yes, Jordan and Kate.
Right. And I went. It's interesting. I went to their YouTube channel, and I saw the thing where they're preparing for the baby.
Right.
And he made the classic mistake. He made the mistake every man who assembles a crib makes, which is that he assembles it outside the room that it's supposed to be in, and then has to break it back down. And I found out it was such a human thing that
It
even
is.
people, no
They're
matter
very
where you
good.
room, you still have your regular human challenges to face and your
Definitely, definitely.
human things to face.
They're very
Um,
good.
so that's good stuff. Let me just say hello to Robert Berry on LinkedIn, who's saying hello, and Gail out of Barbados, who's saying hi guys, late, but here you're not that late, Gail. We're just not getting into it. And do you know this person, Maria Paula Lindo?
Maria Paola Lindo. Yes, she's a friend of mine here in Boquete, so she's representing. And that little
represent.
rainbow there is no exaggeration. We have rainbows here on a regular basis, and they last 30 minutes long. So there's a reason she put that rainbow in there. This place is zen. You know what I mean?
Lovely.
Hello to Maria.
So hello to Maria as well. So when you actually started off in your very first YouTube video, you said, and I quote, "I don't know how I feel about this vlogging thing." So it's been over a year. How do you feel about it now?
I would say I'm just a tad more comfortable in front of the camera now. Still not 100%, but the vlogging thing is cool. The part that I hate about it the most is the editing. I'm not fond of being in front of a computer for hours upon hours on end, especially when you live in a place like Boquete, where outdoors right now is the place to be. You don't want to be buckled down in here, doing an editor to upload. It's exhausting for me. I want to be outdoors. I think I spent 15 years of my life behind a computer doing web design, doing technical support, doing photography, doing videos, video editing and so on. And now I just kind of really want to appreciate the outdoors the way I like. I've always been an outdoor active type person. So yeah, at one point in time we had weddings booked. I mean, you would know something about this. We had weddings booked for an entire year in advance, which means I lost every single weekend of my year filming the wedding. And then, of course, during the week, I'm editing those weddings along with one or two editors of our own in the company. So, yeah, that said, a lot of time behind the computer, and it's not my favorite part of the vlogging process. That aside, it's pretty cool to have those memories documented as I go along. Sometimes I would just go back to my first video. I can't believe I've been doing YouTube videos for like a year now. It's crazy. I only realized that yesterday. And it's good to kind of go back to the beginning and just kind of, binge on my own stuff, if you may, just to kind of remember how it started, what I've been through, things that I would have forgotten I had to go through. It's a good I would say, stash of memories to just kind of go through. And I'm coming up with some new stuff pretty soon that's going to be even bigger than just my one-on-one adventures here. So subscribe if you want to find out what that is about.
Right. That's really cool. Oh, you know what I forgot to tell you? I forgot to say, happy belated birthday. This week was your birthday. So this is your birthday week.
Yep.
You're creeping up on the 40. I mean, I'm past there already, so I know how it feels.
It's coming and I'm feeling it.
Yes, you're feeling it on all. I looked at some of your videos, particularly that one. Are we going to show a clip of it? That one where you hike to the waterfall and those young fellas like took off like rockets and you were left behind. And then,
so out of breath. Yeah.
So happy birthday week, and the pandemic hasn't helped either. So let's just put it that way. Let's just blame it on the being inside.
Thank you.
So anyone who has been following your content for a while, and you mentioned it earlier, they know you're a big outdoors person, surfing, off-roading, adventure. So do you think like Panama was the perfect place to end up?
Couldn't be better. Like I described in one of my first and very early videos, Panama is like Trinidad on steroids when it comes to the things you can do, the opportunities you have here for adventure, the things you can see. Of course, Trinidad is only so big. and it's an island. It's not connected to any real big landmass or anything like that. So as far as the off-roading, as far as the overlanding adventures like that, expeditions, etc., you drive 3 hours in any one direction in Trinidad and you reach another coast. Whereas in Panama, you can be driving for days and still have a little more to go. So you can camp out here, explore there. I've been here a year and a half so far, probably a little more, and I still haven't seen much of Panama. You know what I mean? So that in that aspect, for somebody who's into outdoors and adventure and exploration and so on, it's pretty cool. And then when I feel like I've covered all of Panama, I can just start driving north, and then it's a whole world up there again. You know what I mean? So yes, I would say it's definitely been the perfect place to be. It's safe enough as well, where you can explore into places that you really don't know are safe. And I've been feeling okay to go anywhere, no matter how far or how deep. I've been feeling safe to do that here,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I really get a sense of that when I look at your videos. I get a sense that it's not like this is going to be dangerous. I get a feeling like you're free to explore, and that the people you've met have been really helpful, and that they discovered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I would say the dangers are not human. When I'm going into
it, dangers are not human. Yeah. It kind of makes me feel like maybe I want to visit. It makes me feel that way for real. No doubt. Looking at your videos
makes me
feel that way. Okay, well, with that in mind, let's take a tiny look at I kind of cut some clips of one of your the same waterfall adventure. Let's take I'm not going to show everything because we don't have the time, and also I do want people to go to the channel. As a matter of fact, let me just put that up right here, right now. Let me put that up right here, right now, as a little crawler below here. So youtube.com that's correct, right? /adventure. So I'm going to leave that as a scroller below. People can jump across to the YouTube channel. Not right now, when we're done, and check out the video, but let me run that and I'll take us off stage. We'll be able to look at it, and then we'll jump back on. So let me show this in the stream, and let me go ahead and let me solo this, and let me play the video so people can see.
Okay, so there's a high possibility that the place is closed and we can't get into the trail. Let's see what's happening now. Hola,
caballero. Buenos días. I know that when you're doing something for the country, they all say yes.
So because I'm stuck in Panama,
Yeah, because you're a tourist.
Well, let's do this. We're getting it done. Let's go. Okay, so thankfully the guy was tiny enough to let us in so that we can do this. Oh my god. Look at this. Yeah, you see the size of that thing. I'm still out of my mind right now. I think it's time to take this off, right? Okay folks, so I'm relegating the mission to a GoPro now, at least until we get up to the top of the trail. This hike is going to be intense. It's 1 hour, but it's 1 hour, well, you see the kind of uphill. So let's do this. Right. So we just heard something there that sounded like a dying dog. But then it threw me right back to Trinidad because I recognized the sound. It's a howler monkey. I'll see if I get a couple shots of it, but right now they're just making noises and staying hidden. So we'll see. So we just got to this place and I'm speechless. I don't think I've seen a view like this before. I'll just let the footage speak for itself. My god.
All right, that was one of your. I kind of did a mashup there because we couldn't watch the entire. It was like what? How long? 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it was about 8 to 10 minutes for that video.
Yeah, yeah. So what was that? What was that experience like?
Incredible. Luckily, halfway up, I had a savior come from behind with a Toyota, what was it, a Land Cruiser, to save me from dying on the trail up. It's like a 1 hour uphill, incredible incline. But he was able to kind of give us a ride to the top, and that gave me enough energy to actually reach the waterfall. And yeah, the view's spectacular. You can see the whole of the Gulf of Chiriquí, which is the Pacific side of Panama, closer to the Costa Rican border. And just being up there, there were a couple moments where I just kind of zoned out and just the view takes you away, transcending. So, and that's not the tallest waterfall in Panama. And you saw the size of that thing, right?
Yes, it's massive. It's massive. Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of I took one of my friends some years ago. I took one of my friends from Barbados, and they came to Trinidad, and we said, we're going to Edith Falls and stuff like that. And then when we got this, it's like, what? What is this?
A trickle instead of a fall.
Yes, a bit of a trickle. It's sorely disappointed. But I mean, what you expect? Where Ireland is like not like we don't have the distance for water to gain momentum and come from those mountains and stuff.
Although Dominica is an island, and I'm seeing some huge potential for some amazing waterfalls there. So, and apparently they're still discovering waterfalls here in Panama. So when I uploaded the Kiki Waterfall Adventure, which I feel like that's the one you should have shown, but Kiki Waterfall is one of the largest here. But then when I uploaded the video, somebody commented in the description below the YouTube video and said that's not even close to the tallest waterfall. And I've been investigating since, and apparently it's a 4 to 5 hour hike to get to something that's even bigger. But I haven't seen it yet, so more exploration to be done,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if people want to see the Kiki Waterfall Adventure, go across to the channel. That's why we have the channel below. Go across to the channel and check that out. Richard has several videos doing things outdoors. You look through them all if you must to find it. But I'm sure that one will be very, very fulfilling as well. We have Robert across on LinkedIn coming in a little bit late and asking, do you live in Panama? I can answer some of those questions now. Yes, Richard does live in Panama. And what made you move there? We answered those questions. I can say fate. I don't fate.
It feels like fate. There's a bit of magnetism to this place that I've just kind of been following. I'm not sure where it's going to lead, but technically I'm not living here. I got stuck here for the COVID pandemic. But it looks like I will be moving here soon. I have to come back to Trinidad to get a couple things done soon, and then right back here for some opportunities that are coming up that I will announce on the channel soon. So
yeah, I heard you talk about those things.
Yeah.
Hoping to get an exclusive.
I'll
say
a little bit out
but it's like 6 days away from October.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's coming.
It's coming. Okay, good. So he said you're stuck in paradise, eh?
I would say so.
You saw a little jelly there.
Paradise in Trinidad. I would say Trinidad is right there with Panama. It's just scale, purely scale. It's just a bigger place, but it's just as beautiful Trinidad as here is. It's just as much of a paradise that this is.
Right, yeah, definitely. How long does it take to produce one of your vlogs?
If I'm being very diligent, it can actually take me about a day or two. That being said, I take like a week because usually, again, I'm not liking the editing process too much, and I'm outdoors doing more things and filming and so on. So it takes me about a week to kind of get it done, which is why I try to release them like every Saturday kind of thing. Like there's one coming out this evening. I'm almost done with.
Right. Oh, there's one coming out this evening. Oh, we should all go and wait for that one. Go and wait for that one. I really want to see. Okay, not that I'm saying that you have to, and But when you come back to Trinidad, could I just be in the background somewhere?
Of course, of course, of course.
Make a cameo.
I should feature the photographers of Trinidad and Tobago in one of my vlogs. That'd be nice.
I'll wear the national colors as usual, so kind of hard to miss.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about a little bit about. There's one video that you released. Is interestingly not the video that got the most amount of traction, and that was one when you were just sitting talking. There was no frills, there was no fluff. It was just you looking at the camera. That's one of the early videos that you released, and you call it an emotional update or emotional update. I have a clip of that, and I want to show that. And let's just say hi to Dana before we show that. Hi, Dana, across on LinkedIn, one of my faithful members of the Useful Content community. So let's just show a clip of that. I'm going to take us off the stage. So let me show this in the stream. I put some captions on because I want to make sure people get what you're saying, and then I want to ask some questions surrounding that.
Sure.
Right. So let's solo this in the stream. Let's mute ourselves.
I'm just having a moment where all my resources for being here, surviving over 8 months, have pretty much run out. Barely have anything left. And when I say barely anything, this is food, money, things like that. But what I do have is my mind and my creativity, and I pretty much put that out onto YouTube in a very skeptical manner, and the reaction and the response from doing that, we're now 8 videos in, has been phenomenal. I didn't think I had a voice that people wanted to hear, especially not on camera. I hate how my voice sounds. But I find myself at this point, not that I'm complaining, because every step of the way I learned a lot. I experienced a lot that has taught me lessons day after day. I've taught myself to motivate myself when I'm not feeling the best. And then when I couldn't find that, I've been able to successfully and luckily call upon people close to me, not physically close, but close to me, to help me through it.
Yeah, so that was the thing that happened.
Yeah. That was a tough time.
I could tell. It's interesting because it's very, very interesting that you move from not even being wanting to be on camera to like 8 videos in, sitting down and sharing this with everyone. That's a very interesting transition. You spoke about the challenges then. If you had to release another just sitting down looking at the camera update video, it's been a year. What would that one sound like now?
Elated to have had this experience so far. I feel like people misinterpreted that video on a grand scale, because the video was really about being grateful for where I was, not complaining that things are going badly or anything like that. It was to really count your blessings in the times that you are feeling the worst, and that there are always ways out of things. And I kind of wanted to communicate that. Now, I was very, very, very skeptical about uploading that video because I was going through, of course, an emotional time there, and just taking a walk, taking a break from all devices, laptops, phones and everything, and took a walk. And I was able, again, because of where I am, to appreciate just being alive, just being able to breathe clean air and observe the sunset that was happening. And that put things into perspective for me. So it was really a gratitude update, rather than like a complaint. A lot of people thought I was kind of reaching out for help. Not necessarily. At that point in time, I had already kind of gotten help, and it was in such a random manner that it also invoked the video to think that, okay, in the darkest of times, I had still been putting all my creativity out there and just executing what I do best. And because of that, certain things fell into place, and I was very grateful. Even I had probably like $8 left in my pocket at that point in time in that video. It was 3 opportunities that were at my disposal that had me that grateful and that thankful to just be alive and to just notice and witness and be thankful for where I was and who I was able to communicate with and connect with when I was here, in order to survive. Use what I had to survive. Little advice here, little input here, and yeah, it was supposed to be a very grateful video, but people kind of took it to be like a cry out for help kind of thing, which ended up being a good thing, because in that sense, people contributed to my well-being, just being able to keep a roof over my head and like have meals on the table and so on. That video helped with that. I launched my Patreon account from there, put up my PayPal, etc., and so on. So that definitely did help. It was not the intention, but people insisted, dude, we want to help. Give us a means to do so. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's safe to say that you don't have any reservations about how that came out.
No, I feel like I'm just at this point, I'm just trusting the path, trusting the journey, and just kind of going with the flow and grabbing the opportunities that come my way. Of course, I have to be prepared for it as well. I forget what the term is, but they say I think luck favors the prepared. So when those opportunities do come, you have to be ready, so. All of this is just getting ready. I feel like everything that I've been doing in my life, from the web design, from the photography to the video, everything has been leading up to something that's probably what I'm going to release soon.
Yeah, I get that. Each part of your process is like it leads into something else. Sometimes all of the pieces, it's not clear where all of the pieces fit. But as you go along, and you fly drones, when you're close to the ground, you have a particular amount you can see of a field of view. But as you go higher, you get to see more of what that thing actually looks like.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's being revealed. So you're going higher, you're going further. So the pieces, there was no space for this thing to fit because you couldn't see it. But when you get higher off the ground, you can see, that goes there. And now it makes sense. It comes together.
Yep.
And I think that is a really good lesson for anyone. I mean, apart from content creation and your path, I think there's a good lesson for anyone who is in a process, any kind of developmental process. And I found that there's this whole idea of the difference between personal and private when you talk about sharing your content, and the line there, and often people don't really understand the power of being able to share some of these insights that people have, like these things that are happening to them, not in a complaining way,
right,
but in a way that seeks to reveal things and help people, and share experiences. Because many times people are kind of by themselves, they don't know how to deal with things. But when they hear other people talk about it, they could begin to rationalize some of this stuff and begin to say that maybe I should talk to somebody about some of these things I've experienced. So you spoke with us. You came on, you sat down, and you spoke with us. And interestingly, this wasn't the intention, but people fed back. They're like, "Hey, what's going on?"
I would actually recommend that if people have a lot going on in their head and they can't sort it out just by going along like their everyday life, every camera has a camera on it now. Just sit with the camera and start talking, and you'd be surprised what comes out of that. It's not like you have to upload it or share it anywhere. Sometimes there is oversharing, especially when people go live on Instagram, that you kind of want to censor a couple of things. But before you go live, just sit with the camera, sort out those thoughts, talk to your quote-unquote audience, and you'd realize that you have a lot of stuff inside that that needs to come out, and you don't know how to get it out. That's one of the ways to do it. And then when you look back at it, you're like, okay, it was almost like a bit of a therapy session with just yourself. And yeah, you kind of learn about yourself and what you're made of that way.
Yeah, excellent. That's excellent advice. Let me recognize Janelle across on Facebook. Janelle is saying hello. She's listening in. Thank you, Janelle, for joining us while I'm talking to Richard right here. And Gail across on LinkedIn is saying she's loving this story and Richard's transparency and letting us into his space. So Gail is saying that. Thanks, Gail, for that comment, and I'm sure Richard appreciates that as well.
My pleasure.
I want to also recognize Keneal from Jamaica, who is logging in too, and he's part of the community, the Useful Content Creation community. So thank you, Keneal, for throwing up your bulbs and for supporting the stream. I appreciate that. And Dana says thanks for that advice as well. So Dana across on LinkedIn saying thanks for that advice.
Open up.
One of the things that got kind of speed bumped in that video, real quick, was the fact that you said you don't like your voice.
What I'm hearing in here right now is not what I get when I listen to it. It's like, okay, I don't like this.
yeah. But so you've overcome that somewhat. Is that still a thing? Not liking your voice?
It's the point where it's like background noise now. Like you don't hear it. Like I hear the words that I'm saying, but I don't really hear my own voice anymore. I just hear what I'm saying, and I'm being critical of what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. So by the next video, I can clean it up. But I honestly don't even hear my own voice anymore. It's just
right. So it's like white noise.
Exactly.
I mean, that voice thing is something. Let me tell you, when I talk to people about doing video, because I often speak to people about their content creation and doing video, that is a thing that always comes up. For some reason, people, and I think you hear people who are professionally trained and have these lovely voices, and then they say, "Oh my God, there's no way I could sound like that," and you become so self-conscious. So I guess that is a regular thing. So, white noise it is then, I guess.
Yeah.
So why did you choose YouTube and not some other platform?
I think that's what I was kind of segued into based on the people that were kind of edging me on to go on. They had a really good platform on YouTube. I had started pulling away from Facebook. Excuse me, pulling away from Facebook 3 years ago, maybe. So I only kind of got back on to kind of share the videos that I do on YouTube. So it just felt natural. It just felt like, okay, YouTube is the place to do it. I also don't look at television. I don't look at, I don't do like the Netflix thing that much. YouTube is my television. I did not really have a television growing up. So I was always outdoors. Go for
really? Wait.
Yeah. I was the only one in my class growing up without a television. My mother just did not like TV. My dad was the one that he always had to have a TV in the house. And of course, they went their separate ways when I was about 5 years old. So from 5 to maybe 17, when I went to the US to live for a while with him, no TV. Anything that I had to see by friends. Any Super Nintendo or Atari games, I had to go by friends. My entertainment was the outdoors, and when I had a pet, like a dog, every so often, that was it. But every day I would be in nature, just learning things, checking out the animals, the trees, different rivers, before I could get in my own car and start exploring more. And I was lucky to live in a place like Voisin, where there were waterfalls around, which is probably why I have this love for waterfalls so much. But yeah, that's my place to go to meditate, to just get away, and I'll go with my dog. So yeah, in essence, I had kind of, it just felt natural, the whole YouTube thing. Yeah.
And I guess it fits with the longer format of video you want to do as well. It's like, it's vlogging, so and you kind of like, you don't want to just show like a 1 minute. You could do a 1 minute vlog, but I mean, when you're going to all these beautiful places,
1 minute is good.
Yeah, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough.
That's good. Oh,
Like,
I actually lost my train of thought just now. What I was explaining is that YouTube has become my TV because since I did not have a television when I was younger, I got onto the internet around 14, 15. And then when I got a job out of school, it was helping. It was an internet service provider helping people get online or if they were having problems and so on. So I was kind of locked into the internet and always researching things and so on. And YouTube just kind of became my channel where I can narrow down what content I wanted to look at before Netflix was even a thing. You know,
yeah,
and it's not just based on narrative things or documentary things, it's anything. So from spending so much time, especially over the pandemic, on YouTube, learning things and checking out the kind of content that I'm interested in and not subjected to what a television is giving me, yeah, it just felt natural.
yeah. Well, definitely. I find myself too. We had a TV in our house for 12 years, which is unheard of, by the way. People don't have that long. A flat screen TV, a sharp Aquos 720p.
Nice.
The line TV we bought from PriceMart when
Right.
TVs were ultra expensive back in the day, and it lasted 12 years. And so at the start of the pandemic, the polarizer on the TV began to peel off, so we couldn't see the picture anymore. So it was still working, but the polarizer began to peel off, and we swapped it out with another TV. And I don't even
You look at it.
I don't even look at the TV. I mean, with the kids, sometimes they'll go out because they have Netflix. But you're right. And Robert is saying on LinkedIn here, YouTube is my TV, and
Exactly.
so yeah,
It's content served to you what you're interested in all the
yes.
time. If you want to go look at movies, fine. There's all the other, streaming services and so on. But almost every morning when I wake up, I go straight to YouTube, just to see what it will feed to me. And if I'm not careful, I can get very, very addicted, and I lose days upon days just looking at offloading videos and surfing, and yeah, it goes crazy. It goes deep. YouTube has a lot of content.
Let's just say the algorithm works, huh?
Oh yeah, like a charm. Too well.
It snatches you by the throat and like say, "Look at me," type of thing. What's your dream vehicle, by the way?
That keeps changing as time progresses. Of course, the whole EV revolution has started. So my top pick right now, if I was to think of electric vehicles, would be the Rivian R1.
I knew you were going to say that. The Rivian. Go ahead. Sorry, my
bad. It's really, really, really sick. It's just, I feel like EVs opened up a whole different realm to what you can do off-road. The kind of power and control you can put to each wheel, the storage based on the fact that you no longer have an engine, so you have more storage options. I've owned 2 pickups in my life, and that was always a problem. Storage.
Mm-hmm.
You have a whole tray, and if rain falls, you can't use it. Or if you use it, you're still subjected to a little trickle from corners. You never really get that real closure, that solid seal, especially when going through water crossings and so on. So now with the uprise of the electric vehicles, I would think the Rivian, either the pickup or the SUV, but I'm leaning to the pickup because I like the utility of the tray and still storage.
The little compartment that slides out, the little thing.
That a surfboard could fit in perfectly, yep. Yeah. But outside of that, I have always loved, and not because it's a Mercedes-Benz, but one of the baddest trucks out there would be the Mercedes-Benz G63 6x6. It's not a 4x4.
Yeah, 6 wheels, yeah.
6 wheels, it's a pickup. At that thing, you can actually press a button and air down the tires to go into the terrain. And when you're done, press another button to air it back up. I mean, this thing is, there's nothing that can compare to it. The wheeling depth is amazing. But they only made so many of them. I think there's probably only 500 of them in the world. If I get my hands on that, I would be a very happy boy.
Yeah.
Awful.
I know you're usually a Toyota guy, but I guess we could all dream in that space, right?
Toyota, I've been waiting. You see, if they bring out something like the FJ Cruiser that's electric, but with a little more visibility, because, I mean, I love this truck, but the visibility is a problem. Like, if I can't do tours in a truck like that because the back windows don't even roll down. there's no sunroof, so it's almost like you're in a cave in the back there. You know, you can't really get the people who are in the back seat to see the view. Even the people who are in front, you feel like you're in a tank when you're in that thing. The windshield is so far away from you, so it cuts down on your viewing angle of what's around you. You're more seeing a ceiling than sky, you know.
Yeah.
So I would think if they kind of rethink the visibility in the FJ Cruiser and get it electric, I would say Toyota.
Yeah,
because it's an incredible truck.
It's a great vehicle, but you know they stopped making them, and that visibility thing is a thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, if you weren't out here creating content, making videos and things of like what would you be doing?
That is an excellent question. I've always been chasing after things that I'm passionate about. The things that have steered me into the things that I do now were a result of me sitting down, listing the things that I think I'm passionate about, asking friends, hey, what do you think about me? Like, who am I as a person? What do you think are my strong points and my attributes that, you know, make me a good person? If you consider me a good person, and take that as a list, like a master list, and see what in the world that I can do utilizing those pointers that I would have listed. So if I was not doing anything with a camera, I would still say I would be doing something outdoors, and I love helping people. Almost to a fault, because sometimes I feel like I'm more passionate about doing something for people when I'm not being paid. Weird thing. But I really love the thrill that comes with seeing that I can actually change somebody's life. Or just help them a little bit, or just make their life, even if it's not bad, just make it a little better. Recently, a friend of mine, who might or might not be present in this this live stream, a simple thing like her computer, what do you call it, adapter, went out, and that's the computer she uses for her work. And just being able to like quickly get one of those for her kind of, it just making a difference, just helping people, just making their life a little easier to live, especially when things are difficult, is something that I'm passionate about. So I feel like if I was not doing content creation, I would be doing something along the lines of just helping people while being outdoors. I guess it kind of narrows it down, you know.
Yeah, those are the two elements, you know, outdoors and helping people. You're not giving up the outdoors at all, boy. No way. And it makes sense based on what you told me.
Don't get me wrong, I like my little creature comforts. You know, nice cozy indoors, you know, warm bed and so on. But yeah, I love being outdoors.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to see some of your other adventures. And I think I saw a video somewhere. It probably would have been you who got stuck somewhere to get pulled out. You got pulled out a lot of times, no? Not so?
In Trinidadian, here no.
Yeah.
I had to wiggle my way out. And I think it was because of those experiences in Trinidad where I did get stuck a lot and had to be pulled out that I was able to kind of figure myself out over here with no winch. So, but yeah, I did get into some hairy situations a couple of times. Like I told you earlier, the danger here for me is not human element. It's the places that I go, the things that I encounter there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Things that would not have made it on camera because I was busy panicking or steering my way into safety or whatever the case may be. So
I think somebody else would have captured that, man. I mean, yeah, I could have sworn there was a video. You have a black Hilux, right? That's what you had?
I had a Black Ranger last, and I had a white Hilux before that. Yeah.
A white Hilux, right, with the Gravedigger on it, I think.
I had, yeah.
So I think I may have seen something. I mean, I don't know where to find it. I may have seen something somewhere about. Maria is saying that she's that's right, Richard. Super Richard, I'm here. So she's agreeing to that.
Yeah,
that's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right, so one of the key components of the content you make is all of your drone work. And clearly, people enjoy that a whole lot. I have the one of your compilation videos here. I'm going to show a little bit of it because I want people to go and see the rest other places. So let's just take a look at that so people can see some of the drone stuff that you have done.
Sure.
Let me see. Will this show? Will this show? Hopefully it will show. Let me see. Let me get the solo one. All right. I don't want to show the entire thing. I want people to go across to let me put that back up. I just took it off a little bit here. Go across to the YouTube page and check the video out. It moves from the cities and the urban areas into the more of the natural landscape later on in the video. So go check those things out if you want to see more waterfalls and whatever. Trees and different things.
I think a taste of everything there, where you have the urban life, as you said, into more inland mountain, and then out into like the coastal areas and so on that I would have experienced. So
yeah. Go check that out. Go check that out on the YouTube channel. That's shot under the bridge. How long did it take you to learn to fly that well?
3 drones deep, so 1, 2, 3, 5 years of crashing drones and so on, and having to repair and send to repair. It took some doing, but about 5 years to. I wouldn't say I'm a master at it, but to get to that point that you would have seen in that video.
Yeah. That's we gave up on that, boy. We outsource drones now.
Okay. Yeah, it's an acquired taste, and then by the time you crash the first expensive one, you're like, okay, is this even worth it? But yeah, especially living in a place like Trinidad, where shipping things back and forth is not the easiest.
Not easy.
So yeah, but I'm seeing like an uprising of the whole FPV drone arena. There's quite a number of guys here who are very skilled and talented with it, to the point where I'm thinking, okay, I will do this as a hobby, but I wouldn't try to go hard with it, because those guys have it covered. I would, if I need to hire them, I'll hire them. But that's a whole different ballgame.
They're probably going to be pretty good at that, and you'll find some creative way to use it, I'm sure. Dana's asking, Dana, I can answer this question. There's a whole video on that. Dana's asking, beautiful Panama, have you been to Bocas del Toro?
I have 1, 2, 3 videos on Bocas del Toro, actually. So if you go to the channel and just type in the search Bocas, you'll see those videos, and yeah, you can enjoy it. It's a really nice place. Really, it reminds me of Tobago in a sense. This person is from Tobago, from Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Yeah, Dana's from Trinidad.
Yeah. So it reminds me of Tobago. It's not by any means developed, but there's some really nice hotels and hostels to stay in, and it's coral. Everywhere is coral, so it's nice clean water. The waves get really good. White sand beaches. Caribbean. It's literally on the Caribbean side of Panama, so that's what you get, that Caribbean feel, island life,
Is that the place where they have the kind of the huts out in the water? Is that one?
That's right. Place? Yes, that hotel. Yeah.
Oh, that hotel. Yeah. That looks so cool, man.
It is extremely cool. I can't wait to go there and actually stay. We just went for a day trip on that in that video, but yeah, I would love to stay in that place.
Yeah, that's lovely. So Janessa is saying across on Facebook, I love the video. I felt like I was waiting for a movie to start. Lols.
The intent. Thank you.
Gail is saying across on LinkedIn, an amazing video. Music bed was awesome too. And Dana saying nice. She's been out there to Boca del Toro 3 times, and she crossed from Costa Rica into Boca del Toro.
Very nice. I actually want to do the opposite because there are several different border crossings on that, on that border. So you can cross from down on the Pacific side, but then there's also a crossing up on that side, which I guess she would have used, that I want to explore as well. That's coming soon.
Right. Game of Thrones? Does she mean Game of Thrones? She said
Got it? Yeah, Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really excellent. So let me just put I think your Instagram is, let me just make sure this is your gram, right?
That's the Instagram, yes.
That's the Instagram. So Richard, before we bring everything in for a landing, do you have any final thoughts to share with the people about your content creation and anything that is coming up, except the secret thing that you don't want to tell me about? I'm okay. I'm not hurt by that at all. Anything else?
So that's that. I will use that, the secret thing, based on the opportunities that have been coming up from the YouTube channel, launching and so on. I am getting the opportunity to be able to share these experiences with people who would like to come to Panama and partake. And yes, I'll be releasing some information on that on the channel pretty soon, where you get to see it for yourself and experience it for yourself. There's only so much I can do with a camera sensor to really give you the experience and the feel on a screen. But really and truly, there's nothing that compares to actually seeing it for yourself and feeling the mist coming off of a heavy waterfall and just seeing the sunrise over the clouds when you're higher than the clouds, things like that. There's nothing I can do on a camera that will really give you that feel. So I am working with several people here to be able to give you that experience if you'd like to come to Panama.
Ooh, so that kind of ties in with what I was saying earlier. I need to get some special preferential treatment.
I might have
you're doing a very convincing job of sharing where you are at and the benefits of it, and it's especially for people, even for people who are not big outdoors adventure people. Just seeing the space that like I don't know, I'm not sure I was gonna hike. And definitely my wife wasn't going to do that, hike that hour for that waterfall. But, the idea that exists is very compelling,
So the good thing about that, with what I will end up offering, is the fact that there are different ways and means of reaching those places where the average person who is not...
It's 12 hours.
Sorry about that. Who's not into fitness, who's not into outdoors too much, can still be part of what I'm going to offer.
Right.
And the places are as accessible as we need it to be. I have handpicked the places that I would share with people based on the accessibility, but you still get a real sense of adventure and what Panama has to offer. So,
right. Excellent.
Exciting.
Dana saying, nice, looking forward to it. I would take that experience in a heartbeat. So yeah, when you're ready, release the thing, man. Release it when you're ready. I know you're going to talk about it in October, and then next year it's going to be a thing. So whenever you're ready, so that's great. All right, so that's it, people. That has been the Useful Content Creation Show, the Saturday edition. I didn't even play my music. Let me play some of that music here as we go out. It's been the Useful Content Creation Show, the Saturday edition. I'm so thankful for everyone who came onto the show and who was a part of the comments and who said good things, sent questions for Richard, and shared their voices on all of the platforms. Thank you to Maria, all the way from Boquete. She's from Boquete too, right?
She lives about 2 streets away from me.
2 streets away from Richard in Boquete. Thank you, Maria, for jumping on the stream, the live stream here on the Useful Content Creation Show. Thank you, Dana, for throwing up your bulbs across on LinkedIn. And for who else? It was Gail and Camille and Robert and everybody else who came on LinkedIn to say hello, and Janessa and everybody else. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today with Richard and to hear more about his content creation and about his adventures in Panama. Can't wait for you to get back to Trinidad and be in the background of that video, Richard. I'm looking forward.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on, buddy. This was a pleasure.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff. So let's groove out a little bit before we go. Thanks, everyone, for coming on to the Useful Content Creation Show, #UCC. Bye, everybody.